On Monday, right after the show, we were radio only. We had talked about our report that Jim Harbaugh is going to be pursued by the Jets. The Jets issued this statement. Todd Bowles is our head coach. There is no truth to the report of our interest in Jim Harbaugh. I retweeted that with the line, "We stand by our report." Somebody responded by saying, "Time for the unfollow." So I responded by saying, "Time for the block." I don't think this person unfollowed me, and I don't think I blocked him. But anytime somebody threatens to unfollow me, if I notice it, I'll threaten to block them. I mean, I don't care. If you want to follow PFT, follow PFT. If you don't. I don't care. We provide a service either way. And at this time, we're going to provide our weekly service of airing some grievances. Chris, as always, you get to go first.
Okay. Well, I got two especially that I want to get off my chest. I think the first one is this, and I just been hearing this too much over the last week, or really especially the last few days since Sunday Night Football again. It's come up, and it just bothers me. Okay, and I got to get it off my chest, and it pertains.
Well, go ahead and get it off your chest.
It pertains to the MVP of football, which is Patrick Mahomes. Okay, first of all, I'm sick of the conversation. He's so clearly the MVP of football this year. I don't know what to say. He's been the most special guy in the game, week in and week out. So special that we've had weeks where he throws 4 touchdown passes and 350 yards, and we just go, I've seen better. That's how special it's become. But I'm so sick of, he hasn't won the big game, or his performance in these big games is going to be enough to knock him out. Well, I don't understand that, or I just don't get it. First of all, in the big games we're talking about the 4 losses. You mean on the road to the Patriots, on the road to the Seahawks, on the road to the Rams. Okay, 2 of the better teams in football, one of the toughest environments. And yes, he lost to the Chargers, who are also one of the best teams in football. I get that. In those games, it's 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. In those games, especially the last 2, there's no Kareem Hunt. There's no Sammy Watkins. Let me remind everybody, Sammy Watkins is being paid the same amount as Odell Beckham Jr. He's not there. But all I'm saying is the guy is clearly the MVP in special football. And out of those games we're talking about, some of his worst performances of the year are like the 7th or 8th best performances of the year for a Drew Brees. So that's how it compares. So I'm not trying to sit here and hate on Drew Brees. All I'm trying to say is I don't understand some of the factors that are being thrown at Patrick Mahomes for the reason he shouldn't win the MVP. Yes, Drew Brees hasn't played well either as of late, and they've won some football games not because of him, but because of their defense, their run game, things like that. Last week was better. I understand that. He played very well against Pittsburgh Steelers, but I just don't like the fact that we're going to use the 4 losses on Patrick Mahomes all the time to dictate the MVP race when he's done special things all year long, and he did special things in those 4 losses, and we're going to blame him for the 4 losses, even though they have the worst defense in football and not a running game, and their secondary can't stop anybody. So that's why I wanted to say that. I just had to get it off my chest one more time, Mike. Sorry.
What if the Chiefs lose at home Sunday to the Raiders and end up not winning the AFC West? Doesn't your argument get weakened considerably for MVP if the guy doesn't even win his own division?
Well, what if he throws for 5 touchdowns and 400 yards? You're gonna say that's the
offensive player of the year.
Well, he has nothing. He's still the MVP. I mean, why would that change anything? He's done everything he can possibly do. Here's
the problem. We don't know what the MVP is because there's no consensus definition of what MVP is.
No, it's become the media most popular guy on the best team award. That's what it should be called. It's no longer
all right.
that.
Well, if you're a 5 seed in the AFC, how are you the best team?
I'm saying that's what's the problem with the award. Yeah, we've made it the most popular guy on the best team award every year. It doesn't matter. You're the MVP because you're the most popular and you're the best team. MVP. It's the same thing every year. It's stupid. It's disgusting. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP this year. It's not even close to me. That's all I'm trying to say. For me, and I know I might be wrong, but I'm just saying I don't think there's anybody in a close second right now except for maybe Aaron Donald if he broke the sack record this weekend.
All I know is this, and you know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes.
I know you love him,
and I was on board with the Patrick Mahomes hype train before it even pulled out of the station initially.
Right,
but when you have these high profile games, and you're not delivering victories. At some point, it falls on the quarterback at the right moment, in the right spot, to have that big drive. Instead of making the sidearm throw that wows everybody, just get down the field, score, and deliver the victory.
He's done that,
too many
though.
of these,
Every time they lose, the defense messes it up. That's what I want to,
well,
he can't be out there and play defense either. When he's had the ball last, they win. When he hasn't, they've lost.
Yeah.
I know. That was a good one there.
Yeah.
That was a good point, Chris. You're right, Chris. Very good.
I just think I have a hard time getting behind MVP if they don't win the division. Now, I expect them to beat the Raiders on Sunday, but if they don't win the division, it's much harder to say that he's the MVP.
Yeah,
much
I get
harder.
that. And listen, if they lose to the Raiders this weekend, that would be a very bad look, and I can understand the media turning against him. Yes, but again, I think we're blaming some of his losses, and it's the second to worst pass defense in football, second to worst defense in football. They really can't do anything on that side of the ball. It's all on Patrick Mahomes, which is the epitome of the MVP. Hey, we can't run, we can't do anything except you make amazing plays, and that's why we are where we are. Can you deliver for us again? And you're down by 7 against the best defense in football, the Baltimore Ravens, and they were pretty good. Oh, no big deal. I'll go down and score a touchdown, coach. Tie the game. We'll win it in overtime. Delivered. That's why he's the MVP in my eyes. I know I'm getting emotional about it, but I feel passionate about it.
I have a feeling we're going to have a repeat of 1997 and 2003.
We're going to have a double?
Where there's split champions. Yes, 25 votes for Patrick Mahomes and 25 votes for Drew Brees. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
And we spend so much time obsessing over this. The entire process is flawed. You've got 50 people, some of whom cover one team, so they don't even study the entire league at large. And there isn't a first place, second place, third place vote like the Heisman. It's just one vote per person. And and also we find out the night before the Super Bowl where we don't care at all about
You're right.
who the MVP
at that
is
point,
by
I
then.
don't. You're right.
We care about the Super Bowl
You're
the next
right.
day.
I'm just like, okay, great. Let's get to the game tomorrow now and move on. You're right.
I have a grievance, and this one may not be a popular one, but I don't care. And I love Larry Fitzgerald. First ballot Hall of Famer. He falls into that category for me of guy who's going to be successful at anything he ever tries. And there aren't many guys who fall into that. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald are the three right now. And I guess you got to put Tom Brady in there too. But I don't know I feel it more strongly with Manning, Brees, and Fitzgerald. But the video that surfaced over the weekend of Ndamukong Suh cramming his finger into Larry Fitzgerald's eye, for Fitzgerald to come out and say that it was just two guys clowning around, it wasn't. I mean, do not insult our intelligence by suggesting that this is just two guys goofing around. He stuck his finger in his eye. You see him jam his finger in there. It's classic Ndamukong Suh doing Ndamukong Suh things. Why are you taking up for him? I don't get that one, Chris.
Yeah, I get you there. I tried to figure out the history, even looking throughout the game and just little clips, like just to see, was there some joking going on between the two? But I don't know.
Did you see anything?
No,
Did you see
I
anything
can't
to
say
suggest
that,
it?
No, I can't.
I mean, was it like a 3-hour Three Stooges cartoon or whatever that was? Shorts? 5-minute short?
Not exactly, but I mean, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know what Larry Fitzgerald's motivation is there, other than I guess he just didn't want to see a guy that he must have some relationship with off the field. He didn't want to see him get publicly criticized and have it snowball and make it worse than what it was. So I don't know. I'm bowing to Larry Fitzgerald here. It certainly seemed odd. I'll say that. It did not seem like the video I saw that it was a joking around type of thing. I mean, I obviously you didn't think so either. So, yeah, I can't say that I totally get that one.
Wanted to address the video circulating from Sunday, Fitzgerald said on Wednesday. I've known Ndamukong Suh since his college days, and he's a close friend of mine. Quality as a person matches his quality as a player. That video is just a friend clowning with another friend. No negative intent. It's all love. Look, that would be all persuasive if we didn't know what we know about the history of Ndamukong Suh not clowning around with others, whether he's stomping on the arm of Evan Dietrich Smith, whether he's stepping on the leg of Aaron Rodgers and then claiming it's because his feet were cold and he didn't know where he was stepping, whether it's pushing his foot into the crotch of Matt Schaub on Thanksgiving several years ago when he got fined. He got fined for all of those. He got suspended for the stomp on Evan Dietrich Smith. He had a $100,000 fine for taking out John Sullivan's knees in a game unnecessarily. I mean, this is a guy who has a history of doing these kinds of things. And this statement from Larry Fitzgerald is so over the top, it almost comes off as passive-aggressive to me.
Yes. It's like there's something more to that motive there that he's sticking up. I don't know. Do they have the same agent? Maybe that's where I should have looked at. Is there something like that he's sticking up for him? Either way, I don't know. It is very odd altogether that he came out with such a strong statement opposing this whole thing. But whatever, I'm going to take his word for it. I don't know what other way to say it or put it. All right, I'm going to go to my next one. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right, good. Here we go. It's a grievance, okay? I want to be careful here because I always respect anybody's decision to do, of course, what they like with their own life. But
here we go.
I just got to point it out. And this is to a college kid. I'm talking about Justin Herbert up at Oregon, right, who just decided to stay in school for one more year. And again, I'm not going to ever try to argue or tell a guy what to do with his life, but here I am. I'm going to tell him to do what to do with his life, okay? I just think it's a incredibly risky decision for a guy, okay, who I look at as going, man, he's got big-time starting NFL potential. He could be a superstar. I think he would be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And I look at that to go back to school, to risk it, to be around a bad team, okay, and then not have a good year next year and be knocked out of the top 10 or knocked out of the top 20. Again, I just look at it like this. You only have one chance to play in the NFL. You only have a certain amount of allotted years to where you could play and not only capitalize on your talents, but capitalize financially as well. And I think you're taking a tremendous risk when you have the chance to go be the guy, be the face of the franchise. And when you are the face of the franchise, you basically get 9 lives. You get so many chances to fail because they want to make it work, and we've seen that across the board. You know, oh, he's our top 10 pick. We're going to give him 4 chances, 5 chances, 6 chances, whatever it may be. And here he is, a guy who's going back to school as an athlete too, who runs around and kind of plays the position somewhat physically. I just think he's risking a lot. Again, I understand why he's going back, but I just got to throw it out there because I think it's the wrong business decision in this conversation. Like I said, you don't know how things can go out. Everyone told me Matt Barkley was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Oh, Matt Barkley, number 1 pick in the draft. He went back to school. USC wasn't as good. His play wasn't as good. And, man, he ended up a middle rounder. So I just think you're taking a lot of risks there in a lot of different situations, and that's why I say it.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. Look, these kids are entitled to make business decisions. I'm just always concerned when they make the decision, when the NFL is ready for them, when they make the decision to stay in school, who's influencing
right.
them? Who and are the people who are talking to them being candid as they need to be? And anyone who criticizes Le'Veon Bell for sitting out a full year and giving up $14.5 million needs to feel the same way about Justin Herbert, because when the NFL is ready for you, you need to get in the NFL and get the clock ticking on your next contract and the next contract after that. And it's not just the money you lose your rookie year. It's that first shot at getting the life-changing money. You're delaying that process and you're adding more risk into the equation. First, I beg and plead with the NFL. The Christmas Eve night games have to go. Last year, we didn't have one on NBC. We had our game on Saturday night. This year, Monday Night Football, they had that night game on Christmas Eve. It generated the lowest rating in the history of Monday Night Football. Christmas Eve night football does not work. You do not have a captive audience. People don't gather around the TV on Christmas Eve. They just don't. It's not like Thanksgiving. On Christmas Eve, people have things to do, whether they're at church, whether they're around the Christmas tree opening presents, whether they're eating the 7 fishes like the Italians, my people do.
That's what I was doing.
And you don't, especially when it's a terrible game and you always are running the risk it's going to be a bad game because you don't know in April what's going to hold up in late December.
Okay, well, do we have any, good games to go off of on Christmas Eve there? Because, I mean, I think that's
why would you want to do that, though? Why would you want to have that? When that is a night when you are doing other things with family, with friends, going to church or whatever, do you want to really have that dilemma where there's a great game? The game of the week happens to be Christmas Eve at night. I just think that there has to be a way to maneuver around that. And I really hope the NFL, spurred by the very low ratings, the record low Monday Night Football ratings, they realize this is just not something that should be done.
It is a tough night. I will say that. There is a lot. Of course, there's family, everything going on like that. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't, to your point, want the best best game of the year or the best game of the week on Christmas Eve night. I understand that completely. I do think, though, the fact that it was the Raiders and they're a crap hole right now and Denver has nothing exciting about their team, of course, has to lead to the historically bad ratings. But I want to hear your other grievance, too. Go ahead. Get to your other one.
Well, your good friend Aaron Rodgers, after the Packers beat the Jets on Sunday, had this to say about Joe Philbin. We want to play for Joe and give him the best opportunity possible to be the full-time head coach. And I know what Aaron's trying to do, Chris, and I don't like it. He's not going to have an official role in the process, but he's making his voice known, and he wants Joe Philbin, and that would tend to potentially scare away some viable candidates who are going to think, hey, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want me. Maybe I don't want the Packers.
Yeah, it is a little scary. I don't love it either just because, you know my thoughts on this. It's still going to be the same crappy offense and issues you'll have there with Joe Philbin as the head coach because he runs the same offense Mike McCarthy did. So that's where I have issues, and it makes me wonder to something I saw you write yesterday that, Rodgers wants the old staff or regime there to a degree because maybe he can hold his power over people still there. I don't know. Those are things that went through my mind, and I saw you wrote that on PFT yesterday, and I thought those were good points.
Well, and they've interviewed Jim Caldwell and Chuck Pagano, and I think Jim Caldwell would be a great candidate. When you consider all the years he worked with Peyton Manning, the years he worked with Matthew Stafford, and the 2 years in Baltimore, one of those years as quarterbacks coach and then offensive coordinator late in the year, the Ravens won the Super Bowl and Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl MVP award. So maybe Caldwell's the right guy to work with Aaron Rodgers for the final 5 years of his career.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.